All of a sudden, he held my foot, took off my shoe, and ran away with it. Never saw him or the shoe again.
What the
welcome back. It is episode number 2. I am Teri.
And I am Roy.
And this is the opposite of...
A good first date? An amazing first date?
An amazing first date.
Workshopping.
The opposite of even... I would even argue an okay first date. I think you even said that earlier.
Yeah.
Like, these first dates are not good. This is a little bit of a continuation from last time. We were reading first date stories toward the end, and they were so much fun, so we decided to do it some more. By the way, today we have a little bit of a theme going on. We decided to dress as if we're going on a first date. How would we dress? We don't really go on much first dates anymore.
And thinking about it now, maybe wearing a shirt with octopuses all over it might be risky for a first date, but I would probably still do this.
That's how I felt about black lipstick, but then I realized that anyone who would be not okay with me wearing black lipstick is not somebody I want in my life.
And also, goth and alt girls are totally in right now, so, it's
what
totally
is?
Okay. Goth and alt girls, I think that's the...
I really don't think so.
Is it? Huh?
I haven't really...
I'm on a weird side of TikTok.
I mean, if you're already alt... If you're already alt, then yeah, they're in. But for a lot of people, no. They don't
like forcing them.
Yeah. But again, I wouldn't want to date anybody that would not be okay with me showing up how I'm dressed right now, because that would be a little ridiculous, because they're going to find a lot more of that if they date me. So why would they? Anyway. So, shall we get into it? These are some of the worst first date stories. / funny, awkward. That's what the thread is called. And I'll link the thread in the comments. Okay, let me find a good one to start out. I was already looking at some of them, but they were already read. There was a lot of comments about the guy from last week where he just ordered milk at the restaurant, and so I'm trying to scroll past those because it kind of took over the whole thread.
Yeah, that's kind of fair, honestly. That was the most shocking one part of it, for sure.
Okay. And also, it's harder to scroll on my iPad for some reason. I can scroll faster on my computer. Anyway, so first story, nice enough fellow, if a bit awkward. At one point, he remarked that he had expected me to look classier based on my profile pics, even though it was a very casual drink date, and he was wearing a neon orange denim jacket. Anyway, we parted ways, and when I got home, I found this really long message in my inbox. It started with the phrase, "I get the sense I can be honest with you. So in the interest of being direct, let me just say... ... My first thought was that he was about to tell me that he wasn't interested in pursuing things further. But no, he went on to write that I seemed pleasant enough, but he wasn't sure he found me attractive or well suited to him. However, he explained that's pretty typical for him. It takes him a while to really get to know someone deeply before he knows if he's interested. Therefore, he was proposing that we skip dating and enter into a serious relationship where we spend several nights a week together. He felt confident that if we got right into it, he could assess if we actually liked each other in a few months." Damn, I can relate to feeling attraction as a slow burn, but that takes time to develop. I really can. But the idea of jumping straight into a serious relationship and spending most of our free time together in the hopes that we'd like each other eventually felt like a whole lot of pressure. I declined. Props to him for graciously accepting my answer.
Yeah, that's... I'm not sure if we like each other, so we should have a serious, very always around each other relationship first.
That's wild.
Yeah, no, that's just...
Like me...
He's also, I feel like it's way easier to be annoyed with someone and, dislike them if, when you first see them, you immediately spend all your time with them. So, he's cutting his chances short anyway.
That's wild. He had me all the way up until he's like, let's just enter into a serious relationship now. He just wants an arranged marriage.
Yeah.
Maybe he should do an arranged marriage.
Well, I think it's more, let's do a serious relationship and then decide if we like each other. The, cynical side of, if he's being a butt is, he's trying to do this just, let's just sleep with each other a whole bunch, and then I'll decide if I want to ditch you or not.
He never said sleep with you. He just meant spend a ton of time together. And maybe he means that, but he didn't actually say that.
I mean, yeah, but it's like spend most of our nights together.
Yeah.
Seems kind of
but
weird.
You know what he should do? He should sign up for Married at First Sight.
No, because he wants to ditch
candidate.
very quickly. That's the point. Is he wants to marry, and then after marrying, decide if he wants to stay with that person.
That's what they do on Married at First Sight. That's quite literally the point.
They get married and then divorce very quickly.
Yeah, no, like they literally the first time they are matched up by the people on the show with like extensive questionnaires, etc. Then they go get married. Then they show them the first couple months of marriage or however long, getting to know each other, that kind of thing, living together under the one roof. That is what he wants.
Fair enough.
So Married at First Sight, or at least an arranged marriage, would be perfect for him.
And showing up with a neon orange jacket means that he would like the attention as well.
That's the first comment is, I screamed when I got to the neon orange jacket. LOL. Someone in the comments says, it's bad enough he negged you for not being classy while he was in a colored denim. Oh, that's a good point. We didn't think about the fact that they were like, yeah, you seemed classier. Let's enter in a,
yeah, like you already had issues with the person and you still feel like you want to, I don't know.
Yeah, you seemed classier in your pictures. Why would you say that to somebody and expect them to like you? At least he took it, I guess, appropriately when they said they didn't want to do that. One of the comments says, I don't want to have to evict some random dude who refuses to leave my apartment or thinks our third date means we're now in an long time relationship, I think is what that means. LTR is what they said.
Oh, okay.
I've never read that.
Long term, yeah.
Long-term relationship.
Yeah. It's also specifically, okay, what was the wording he used? Like, spend our nights together?
Yeah. Spend a lot of time together, evenings, yeah. Several nights a week.
I really feel like that has more of a connotation than just casual dating, but a lot more. Or like serious dating. But
yeah, he wants an immediate long-term relationship.
Maybe in my head, I'm just thinking
Tell us
guys
what
are
you
dirty,
guys...
but whatever.
Yeah. Tell us what you guys think about that, because, no. Here's another. I got one for you. This guy is the son of my mom's acquaintance. Words. The moms really wanted the children to date each other and they kept nagging, so we said, F it, fine. He picked me up, took me to a lingerie cafe where the waitresses would wear lingerie. Yes. To play cards with his friends. We then went to see a movie again with his friends. They couldn't stop raving about what an awesome movie it was. It was The Green Lantern. Good thing I didn't say anything. Obviously, no second date. If you haven't heard
Part
of
of
The
me
Green
also
Lantern,
feels, wait, was it like both parents were begging the kids and the kids didn't want to do it, right? Like neither wanted to do that date? Is that what that was?
yeah, neither of them really wanted to.
Part of me is like, he did that on purpose. He's like, if we're going to force this date, I'm going to make it bad enough that they never do this for me again. Or never make me go to it again.
Maybe he just didn't really consider her feelings at all because he was just, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny that it was Green Lantern.
And then to like market it as a good movie.
Oh.
To be fair, I haven't seen the movie myself.
I have,
Okay.
but I saw it around the time it came out and I was...
Is it your favorite movie? And you raved about it all the time?
No, it wasn't good. But also, I wasn't primed to like it in the first place. Why do we have a mouse on our table?
Oh.
I thought you called the exterminators.
That was never there. Oh, that was also never there.
You broke it. Okay, I'm just gonna pull it. Anyway, so the same person has another one. It's a second date, they said. Guy invited me over for dinner and decided to make fried rice. I'm Asian, by the way. Hey, I appreciate the effort, you know? He used frozen chicken breast that wasn't thawed and wiped properly. He was so bland and chewy. The rice was so damn wet / sticky and with undercooked grains. He added frozen spinach, which didn't help with the wetness. The only seasoning was some low-sodium soy sauce. The thing is, he kept boasting about his fancy German knife, his all-clad skillet, how he's always picking up recipes as he travels. After dinner, somehow the topic switched to women's safety, and he said that he couldn't understand why other men are intimidating / assholes. Like, he's pretty certain that women feel comfortable and relaxed around him. Joke's on him because I had actually had pepper spray and a pocket knife in my jeans pocket. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Guys are not as comfortable as they feel like they are.
It's also the, like, confidence of I'm good at cooking enough to do this for a date and being that bad at it is kind of... That's painful. Because that also means that he was eating even worse before that, too. So, like, that's his good meal. That sucks.
That reminds me of if... Never mind. That's like negging you. I'm not going to say that. Because I'm not trying to put you on his level.
Dang.
But I'm just... Okay, let me phrase it like this.
This is a terrible first date.
Let me phrase it like this. Because I was about to phrase it in a way that makes you look bad. But it's not. It's an imaginary way. So he's very okay with, like, everything I cook. I'm not the best cook, but I'm also not the worst cook. But he's usually down to eat anything. So it just reminded me of an alternate version of him, where he is, number one, okay with eating anything, just again. And then number two, he thinks somehow that he's an amazing cook. I can understand those two kind of combinations creating that type of person.
Oh, if they were going to eat whatever anyway.
Yeah. But I was almost about to phrase it in a way where it made it sound like you were actually like that. He's not. He's not. But he is, like, down to eat most things as long as they're not, like, actual trash. But even for you, I think you would, like, get this down.
Yeah, it's not like I'll eat it for the sake of, like, its sustenance, but, like, it's not like I'll, like, eat something really bad and be like, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially, no. Like, it's one thing of, like, if it's medium, but it's really bad, the rice with uncooked grains inside it. That's 100% the worst
or
part of it.
overcooked. Mm-hmm. It was partially overcooked and undercooked and chewy.
Yeah.
Chewy chicken.
That's just bad.
That's one of the worst things you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun. And it's also, like, one thing if it's, like, your significant other, like, doing their best and, like, giving you something that's, like, not quite there yet, but, like, it's literally... they're increasing their skill level and you can kind of, like, see, like, oh, they made this for me. Mm-hmm. It's a whole other thing when they're like, oh my gosh, I'm such a good cook. Like, look at this, the cool knife. Yeah, I learned to cook when I went to blah, 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 blah place. And then you serve them their own ethnic food. That's literally what he did. Imagine me trying to, like, without even practicing or learning anything, serving you, like, Indian food.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Or, like, worse, serving someone like your mom Indian food who actually, like, cooks and stuff.
And the worst part is still, like, it's not even necessarily, like, the part where he makes it ethnic is the problem. It's, like, literally just making rice was a problem for him. Or just making chicken is a problem for him.
And fried rice is not hard. Mm-hmm. And it's like, how do you not understand that it tastes bad? How do you not understand it?
He's never eaten out. He's only eaten his own food.
Does he not eat his own food? Okay, next story. Someone says, I don't know if this is funny or uncomfortable, but I was very new to my current city and I had a guy suggest we head to a cool bar. I knew a few places in that area, and I've literally never been to anything XXX rated. I always lived where XXX stuff was somewhere seedy. Oh, okay. So I didn't even pause when the place with blacked out windows was where he led me. Anyhow, it was a strip club. Not sure why I didn't just bail the minute we were inside, but I stuck it out. He offered to buy me a lap dance and apparently made an older dancer's night by selecting her. So I got my first lap dance and I mostly asked her questions about her job, like it was a dance, but just chatting the way I would with a girlfriend. Then when he was going to get one, she told me to tell him to select a girl who was having a bad night. So I helped two ladies get some extra money, and well, now I've been to a strip club and lived to tell the tale.
That usually seems nice.
Yeah, they turned a negative into a positive.
Yeah. It's...
And at least it wasn't, like, sketchy, I guess. Well, maybe a little sketchy since you don't know the person taking you to a strip club. Why on earth would you take someone to a strip club on your first meeting them?
Yeah.
That beats the story from last time where the guy wanted to meet at a massage parlor. That's worse.
Yeah.
The massage parlor is better. That's so much worse.
Because it's also the question of what is normalized for someone, right? And I feel like there's probably people, like, I know that there's people where, like, strip club is very normalized. So I could see that being a thing. So in my mind, the massages still feels kind of worse, but it might still fall into the same thing. What's normalized for one person, and then they like don't even consider the fact that another person would probably find this weird.
Yeah.
But apparently, it worked out enough that they had a good time. Whether they continue dating or not is a whole separate issue. But yeah.
Yep. All right, next story. I had just moved to a new city and I didn't know anyone except for this one dorky dude I used to work with at a national park. He was super nerdy but sweet. There definitely wasn't any attraction from my end, but I found out later that there was on his. I had literally just gotten out of a relationship about 1 week prior to moving, so was still raw, which he knew. Anyway, he invites me over to his place for New Year's. I say yes, since I really don't have anything better to do. He tells me he's having a bunch of people over. I show up, no friends are there. It's just him and his family. I stay for a few hours. The kids kept asking, "Is this your girlfriend?" It was awkward because I definitely didn't want him to think I was interested. I would not have came if I had known I was the only guest. Anyway, at one point during the night, he bumps into something and all these condoms fall out of his pockets. I have not read this one. I read the other two. I couldn't, keep a monitor reading that.
At the family New Year's party. Yeah.
I'm thinking, are you effing serious? That's what you were hoping for tonight? Mind you, there was no history between us or flirting or anything. I thought I was meeting up with a friend. Extremely awkward moment. Mm-hmm. As I'm leaving, he tells me he likes me and blah, blah, blah. Even though he knows that I'm like a week out of a relationship. I break it to him and never see him again. Weirdest night of my life.
That's fun.
You made the right choice, OP.
Mm-hmm. It also feels like, I don't know. The general idea of oh, look, my bunch of condoms. In a scenario where this was nowhere close to guaranteed. It really just, yeah.
You know what it reminds me of?
Yes, I do know what it reminds you of.
Drop my Magnum condom that I use for my monster dog. It reminds me of a young version of Frank from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. Played by Danny DeVito, if you don't know that show. Which a lot of people watching this probably won't know that show. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, anyway. Okay. Another story. I was young and living in a foreign country for work. I meet this guy at a bar/restaurant on the curfew side of where I lived. Without going into detail, if you were downtown past a certain time, you got in massive trouble. We eat, dance a little, and he says he knows of a party at one of his friend's houses not far from the restaurant. I'm young and naive. I say, okay. We're walking while it's getting close to curfew. He's giving me weird looks, and I'm trying not to feel awkward because I really wasn't feeling him and was actually looking forward to socializing around a bunch of other people. He kept asking me odd questions along the way about my ideal type of guy. 10 minutes from curfew, we reach a hotel. I had two options, get arrested or go into the hotel room. To note, I didn't have the type of money to rent my own room. He tells me that we can just talk and that, oops, his friend's house shut down the party. The hotel was clearly pre-booked. I pretend to... That's gross. I pretend to be okay with it, and as soon as I get inside, lock myself in the bathroom, sleep in the bathtub, and snuck out in the morning once curfew was lifted. Awkward probably doesn't cut it. You know what? That was probably a good call.
Yeah, that sucks.
I mean, if you were that sketched out, that's a good call. Yeah. Because better the safe than sorry. Yeah. Worst comes to worst, you made a guy who had no, particularly nasty intentions feel awkward.
But also reevaluate what he was doing.
Yeah.
Maybe, hopefully,
Right. Yeah. Or, what would it be? The worst case scenario might have happened where...
Yeah.
And you think about that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But now you get to think about it as I dodged a bullet for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So good on you, honestly. So a lot of people do not have the strength to actually make that decision in the moment.
Because they want to not it'd be awkward if and what if he was blah blah blah. Yeah.
Right. And that's when you're feeling that unsafe. Never put other feelings into account.
You should prioritize your own safety.
Prioritize your own safety and apologize later if you need to. But then, yeah, like even if they're a nice person at the end of the day, then they get to reevaluate, like you were just saying, why they put you in such a situation that you made you feel so unsafe.
But yeah, that hotel being pre-booked immediately is like a no. Yeah, there's no way. I don't see that as a possibility that he was just a nice person being whatever. Yeah, that was sus.
Here's another one. And I haven't read this one either. This guy and I had been talking for a few weeks when he asks me to go secondhand store hopping. Okay, my words. I'm in. He picks me up in the morning and his driving is scary. But shopping was fun and have similar senses of humor, so lots of laughs. Go get lunch and... Okay, the way this person writes does not work for speaking out loud very well. They're like skipping words. Sorry. Go get lunch and other than his driving, he's a little hyper. Great conversation. He drops me off and I thank him for a good time. He drops, yeah, I shouldn't have done this morning.
Okay.
That was not the end of the sentence.
That wasn't the end of the sentence. Okay, all right. I'm about to hear the part 2 of this in a second.
I didn't expect that. Sorry.
She knows something I don't know. What's going
I
on?
didn't expect it to go there.
Oh, just the meth thing? Yeah. Oh my gosh, you're crying.
We'll be back in a moment. Okay. All right, I think I can see now. No, I can't. Okay. Great conversation. He drops me off and I thank him for a good time. He drops, yeah, I shouldn't have done this morning when I tease him about his driving. Never went out again. He understood why I wouldn't want to date a meth user. Still sends me cards and books on occasion.
That's nice. You know, I don't know why, but that whole time I did not connect the erratic driving to the meth. Because it's like, well, if everything else was fun, sure. Yeah. I forgot about that instantly.
Yeah, it was not random. He did that the morning of their date.
That's like his little pregame to relax himself, I guess.
There's a little bit more. I should add, he is a respectable white-collar guy with a good job, a nice house, etc. So wasn't expecting hard drugs. Sadly, this is my second meth addict. The other I dated for a month, an engineer, very nice place, custody of his kids, and didn't find out till during sex he told me he couldn't come while high. Now I want to drop UAS on people. I don't know what that means.
I do not. We'll
Now
pop
I want
up
to
whatever it is
drop
on screen,
something
probably.
on people.
But yeah.
I don't know
oh
what
my
they mean by
gosh.
that.
It's also, I guess, because that's the two extremes. Either it's probably someone who's overly addicted and so they've ruined their lives, or someone who's very rich and can afford to ruin their life a little bit with some meth. That's probably...
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say. You know, we're gonna have to bleep all of the words talking about meth and hard. We're gonna have to.
We'll put this later.
We have
I don't
to.
know.
We have to beep that. They will suppress our video. Sorry, guys.
Hey, you chose to read the one.
It is the one. It is the one that they do in Breaking Bad. The one with the crystals and stuff.
Yeah, blue crystals.
Yeah. Like they do in Breaking Bad in Zootopia.
Yep.
Okay.
Zootopia, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Sorry that I had to bleep some of that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next story. Now that my eyes are a little bit drier. I don't know that it's funny necessarily, but my most awkward first date was years ago. I met someone old who lived on the opposite side of the city from me, but right at the neighborhood I used to live in. So normally outside my distance, but was kind of excited for that familiarity, and our conversations online was nice. She seems interesting and was cute. So I figured, let's just try and see what happens. Anyway, I headed down by her with the excitement of trying some restaurants and stuff from my old hood. We met up for some delicious tacos and things immediately went weird. She didn't say a single thing and the entire date except to answer questions I asked. We struggled through dinner. It wasn't going bad. She definitely was interesting when she spoke. Cuter in person than her photos, all good signs. But if I didn't keep forging ahead and driving the conversation, we'd be meditating. After dinner, I suggested we grab a drink at a well-known bar nearby. So we went. It was crowded, but we managed to get drinks and found a seat with a little luck. Even with working on our second drinks, she still wouldn't say a peep unprompted. Eventually, I kind of hit a wall and decided to just play chicken with it. I didn't say anything. For 5 whole minutes, I didn't say anything, and neither did she. We sat next to each other, watching the other patrons, drinking alone but together. Eventually, I think picked things back up again. I think we stayed another hour with me driving the discussion throughout. Then we parted ways, and I messaged her the next day about not wanting to meet up again, which she was disappointed with but took fine. So yeah, most awkward date. Not a terrible one, honestly, but so awkward. That's gotta suck. Like, can you imagine sitting there for 5 minutes with someone you just met?
At that point, because I feel like I could do that in more of like an acceptance of like, okay, we're not talking, I guess. And then like I just zone out and do my own thing because I can do that. But like even still, that's awkward for like, it's like also the giving up moment of like, okay, I guess she's just not talking. And like it's still weird to like have someone like that and then still they think that it's going, it's always though like, how do they think it's going well? I don't know. It's super weird. How does the person think it's going well when it's blatantly not? I mean, I'm sure that's happened even with me in some form or fashion, but that's still wild. I will say though, the comparison between like the guy bad date is like she wouldn't talk very much, and the girl one is like, yeah, I had to lock myself in the bathroom so that he didn't like do stuff to me. Like,
Yeah.
that one is yeah. Men have it easy. Oh my gosh.
All right, next story. Since that girl's probably isn't on Reddit, this one is courtesy of yours truly. Sometimes the way people write makes me sound like I don't know how to talk.
This is what we get for reading comments instead of actual posts.
Actual posts are written better, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A few months ago, lockdown ended where I live, so eager to meet the person I'd been chatting with for a while. Plan a date for a Tuesday at the park. ARVO. I don't know. Okay. This was a public holiday, so I had already planned to go out to a bar with my mates Monday night to celebrate the newfound freedom. Long story short, drank way too much and didn't have anything to eat. The mother of all hangovers said on Tuesday. 30 plus means recovery takes so much longer. I call my other mate, tell him I'm coming over with the pupper and we would need to be fed and given TLC so I'd feel better before my date. Go to said date, grossly misjudging how unwell I felt. Try my hardest not to throw up. A few minutes in, convo goes well, but that's when the tummy started raising concerns about wanting to be emptied. It's a park, no toilets in sight. After looking around frantically, I notice a public toilet maybe half a kilometer away with a massive queue. I say F it, excuse myself, and go unload an unholy monster out of my... Oh my gosh. Took like 24 minutes before I felt good enough to come back to the date. She'd already contacted her mates to meet up, knowing that this date isn't going anywhere. She tells me, dude, you're fading away. Go home and get some sleep, which I gladly agree to. I asked for a second date later that week, and she was kind enough to go with me. I jokingly asked her why she would even consider going on a date after the dumpster fire that was the first. Her words, from our chats, I had a good feeling that you aren't some derelict dude, so gave you a second shot. Bless her soul. Although it didn't go past the 4th date because she wasn't sure if she wanted what she wanted out of dating, I'm glad she gave me a second date to redeem myself. Never have I ever had a compliment with the words derelict dude in it. I'd probably remember you forever, Michelle. Good times.
I'm gonna have to Google derelict after this, by the way.
Derelict?
Yeah.
You didn't watch Zoolander enough. I Googled it when I watched Zoolander.
Oh, wow.
Because their whole campaign is derelict.
I didn't I wasn't going to look up any words from there because the point was just to be stupid anyway. So I probably watched that movie and thought the word was just completely fake.
Derelict. Well, there's probably a bunch of other people that don't know what derelict means, so let me go ahead and look it up. Like, I know what it means, but I can't, like, tell you what it means because you know what I'm saying?
Also, I'm glad he didn't need a poop knife.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Derelict. Okay. In a very poor condition as a result of disuse and neglect. A person without a home, job, or property. Damn. Okay.
Oh, you did not seem like a derelict dude.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
The way they're talking, they sound like they're either from like Australia or UK somewhere. That's what it sounded like to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, switching speed, switching styles, whatever you want to call it. This is an Am I the Asshole thread from 4 years ago. And it's called Am I the Asshole for Lying to My Girlfriend About Our First Date 2 years ago? My girlfriend and I have been dating for 2 years now, and our first date was just a simple walk in the park. We got ice cream, fed some birds, talked with each other. It was fun. My girlfriend thought it was insanely romantic and always looks back at it very fondly. However, the truth was that I took her out for a walk in the park, not because I'm so romantic, but because I used to hate being taken advantage of on first dates. It would not be uncommon for a woman to go out with me a couple of times and basically treat the whole experience as a free meal. So I grew older and wised up. I decided that the first dates would only be regular activities for me until I knew the other person was really into me. My girlfriend and I went to a small party of sorts last weekend, and Kara, a woman I dated briefly 4 years ago, happened to be there. It was nothing serious. We went on 3 dates. Never even had sex, which is something my girlfriend already knew since they had met before. My girlfriend got there first, and I arrived a few hours later, and during that time, Kara apparently told her that our first date was a semi-expensive restaurant. Obviously, my girlfriend only told me that when we got back to my place and we had a fight. She asked me why did I only take her to a park when I used to take my exes to restaurants, and all kinds of insecurities started coming out. The only way I could see to calm her down was to tell her the truth, that I didn't know her that well back then, and I didn't want to risk what had happened to me in the past. That made her even more frustrated, and she accused me of lying to her by omission, because apparently I let her believe I was romantic when in fact I was just cheap. I told her that this was unfair and pointed out that cheap is the last thing she should be calling me when it comes to our relationship. My girlfriend is a full-time student and doesn't have an income, so I always end up paying for everything we do. She agreed that that was unfair, but she wasn't done lashing out. So she said that if I'm not cheap, whoa.
That's not even a comment. Okay.
So this is my fault.
Oh.
So she said that if I'm not cheap, then that can only mean I'm a misogynist, because I assume that she was just after a free dinner because she's a woman. After that, I had enough and told her to F off with that nonsense, and that I'm going to have a shower and that she better be calmed down by then. Am I the asshole for lying by omission? I guess I should have told her the truth about why our first date was in the park, but I never saw the point, really.
I would say no. I would definitely say no. I don't know. Maybe that's the guy perspective, but that seems very valid. Like, okay, I'm not going to take someone on an expensive first date, and like for her to care that much when like, okay, now y'all are in an actual relationship. He actually spends money on you all the time, and you're mad about the first date is wild. And it's not for some like cheating reason or something. It's literally just because first date he wants to like, he's been spending lots of money on people that he didn't want to, like, ended up not being in a relationship with, and he felt it wasn't worth it anymore. And so it's like, hey, first date, let me just not spend my money and feel like I'm not being taken advantage of and just get to know the person. That makes sense. I don't see the issue with that part.
No, I don't see the issue with that part. I do feel like when you try to be like, when he frames it as like, I just don't want to be taken advantage of, that's a little weird of a phrasing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's understandable to plan your life in a way that's a little bit less expensive for you. Like, that's totally understandable.
And it's also just first date too. That's like the main thing. Because I feel like that makes sense. Like, I mean, is the implication he also just never takes her out to places afterward either? I don't think that's the implication.
No, because he says he spends money on her because she doesn't have money, so whenever they do things, he spends the money.
Yeah, so like, it's really just mad about the first date, which is wild.
Yeah, and to me, it shows an insecurity on her part that she's upset about this out of the blue like this, because she feels like it means something, and it doesn't mean that, you know. All right, so the verdict for most people was everyone sucks, and that is, according to these comments, that is due to how he was reacting to her reaction, and it just seemed like overall like unhealthy communication between them. And it's like the root of it may have been for like a valid or good reason, but how it was handled was not the greatest. And honestly, the same for her too. She's letting her insecurity get the best of her, and so it just all around is a little. They have some stuff to talk about. Someone mentioned, I was leaning towards not the asshole until the last couple of paragraphs. You had some bad experiences that made you a bit suspicious. She was disappointed to learn that something she thought was motivated by romance was motivated by that suspicion. So far, that's fine. However, when he said she agreed that was unfair, but she wasn't done lashing out, she said that if I'm not cheap, then that can only mean I'm a misogynist, because I assumed that she was just after a free dinner because she's a woman. After that, I had enough and told her to F off with that nonsense, and then I'm going to have a shower, and that she better be calmed down by then. Someone says, none of this is how you communicate in a healthy relationship. You both need to grow up and learn to discuss things like adults. And I think that that's really the root of the story here, is that there's probably more underneath in their relationship going on, because we're only seeing a snapshot of one little thing. Yeah. And there's probably other things going on that she needs to work on with her insecurity, and he needs to work on with communication and helping her feel secure. Yeah. Because a little bit of that's on him, but at the end of the day,
it's very much her.
It's a her thing. Yeah. Does she feel insecure because there's a reason to feel insecure? Maybe she needs to reevaluate the relationship, or she needs to work on, maybe she brought some trauma into that relationship, and now that she needs to work on that for that reason. Yeah. He can definitely help her with that. That's where the good communication comes from. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely, like how he reacted was messed up. Not to say that she was right, and not to say that he was wrong. Even, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I guess there is the part of it of like, you're not even, if you're like not even trying to be romantic, you're purely being cheap. Like, it could be both for the sake of that first date of like, hey, I'm saving money and this is a nice thing to do to go for a walk in the park. That can be a thing. But even still outside of that, the like, you know, I guess mostly like, you better be calm by the time I get out is a thing.
Like, they're just basically making threats to each other. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, it's more like a frustration. They can't talk anymore, so he lashed out. That's essentially what happened.
Yeah, so they really need to work on that relationship, honestly. Let's see. Worst first date stories. Worst first date stories. Sorry, I'll behave.
That'll be the intro song.
All right. Someone asked, "What's your first date? What's your worst first date story?" She admitted to getting a booty call while we were sitting with drinks. After a trip to the restroom, I returned to the table and she was just gone. It hit the ego. Dang. That sucks.
That's wrong.
She gets a booty call while you're on a date is what it sounds like. Yeah. Ew.
Oh, haha, got a call from someone and then they're just gone. And because she just dipped, you're also paying for her food. Yep. Yeah, they should have went on a walk in the park.
Oh, brother.
Another one. I met a guy on Tinder and we spoke at length on Snapchat for weeks. I was so excited to meet him. I took him for a beer at a local quiet and intimate brew house. He showed up drunk and opened with a commentary about how I'll be fun as I'm large-chested and 4'9" and thus a walking tit job. He yelled anti-Asian slurs across the bar when a minor fender bender happened just outside the pub. He told me in heavy graphic detail about his morning bowel movements, liquidity. He gave me the explicit recounting of his first time going down on a woman on her period. He ended the evening by yelling at me when I was going to call it a night. That might be the worst one so far.
I'm also like, oh man. It's definitely I don't know, was he faking? He had to have been faking on Snap that whole time until that moment. Or I guess it was like, I mean, maybe if it's a couple weeks, I don't know how often they're talking those couple weeks. Like, the situation is like, nothing is brought up for you to like, no signs to find out that this dude's actually like a super piece of shit. And then for him to just blow that up on the first meeting is crazy.
Ooh, the number one for me, the number one and number two, they lead into each other for me, is the being drunk already. Mm-hmm. So clearly you have an alcohol problem. And number two, the racism. Racism is a huge trigger for me.
Yeah.
I cannot handle somebody being fucking racist.
Yeah. That
is a no-no for me.
Yeah.
If I can get away from you, I will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone said, I bet you he's still single. And someone else said, you might win this thread.
Yeah, that's, oh my gosh. That's just showing up and then being the absolute worst person you can. That's literally what he did. Like, in many ways, almost every way he could. Because it was the sexism thing. Like, treating her like an object immediately. In, like, vulgar ways, too, which is kind of wild. And then, like, being drunk already to a place where you're getting drinks.
That's nasty.
You have the opportunity to get drunk with her, but you chose to just, like, show up that way. Yeah, and then obviously being racist isn't going to help. And then yelling at her at the end is not going to help either.
Yeah, it's literally like a dog pile of crappiness.
How would that work at the end, too? Like, what's your thought process? You, like, scream at her, no, let's continue the date, and be mad at her, and then she'll, like, oh, you know what, you're right. Let's continue the date. Yeah, I should stay. Like, does that work?
Actually, yeah.
That is so sad that would ever work in his head. Yeah. Or if that's worked in an experience, and he, like, thought that was okay to continue doing.
A lot of men have the mental capacity of a child.
Yeah, if they scream enough, they get what they want.
Yeah, the emotional maturity of a child. But the adultness to find alcohol and a car and drive and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, next story. One of the first ever dates I took a girl... Oh my gosh.
You're struggling today.
I'm struggling really hard today. One of my first ever dates, I took a girl I really liked from school to the cinema. During the ads, I went to the bathroom, and when I came back, the movie had started. As it was really dark, I sat back in what I thought was my seat. Turns out I was sitting 2 rows behind her, beside another girl and a guy. I didn't realize till the lights came on at the end. I must have been too nervous to realize.
Wait.
You want me to read that again?
Yeah, that flew over my head till the end.
It's because I could start laughing again in the middle. I need to pre-read everything so I don't freaking laugh in the middle. One of the first ever dates, I took a girl I really liked to the cinema. And then during the ads, he went to the bathroom, came back when it was dark already. He sat in the wrong seat next to a girl he didn't know, who was sitting next to a guy she was with, and it was 2 rows back behind her, I think. So she couldn't even see him.
So she just thought that she got ditched.
Yeah. So in her mind, he never came back from the bathroom. But in his mind, he was sitting next to her, being polite. I guess not talking to her.
Yeah.
Or imagine he was talking to her.
Oh, that would be awkward.
Like, oh my gosh, I know that guy from
Or if he was trying to like hold her hand or something too. At least that's the other thing is if he tried to hold her hand, then maybe that's when he would have realized, oh, I'm in the wrong spot.
No, it looks like this was like grade school. It looks like they were probably high schoolers, and he was too nervous to even do anything like that. So they must have been young.
Yeah. That's still so, oh gosh.
Someone said, yeah, she stayed for the whole movie too.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, that's sad for her. I mean, I guess sad for both of them. It's not like he even did it on purpose.
Someone said, "Did she think you ditched her? She noticed me coming back in, but thought I moved to get a better view of the screen. Obviously, she thought it was extremely weird, but luckily I was able to explain myself afterwards and we laughed about it."
Okay. That's good. Okay, and she also didn't think ditch. And she assumed pretty good intention, I guess. I mean, I guess what else are you going to assume when you see them walk back in and sit somewhere else? You're just like, oh, I guess that's what's happening. Gosh. Yeah. That's wild.
I know. So I have to read ahead a little bit sometimes while you're talking. I'm not trying to be rude, but like I have to find the next one. And my jaw just dropped. Met him my first time for dinner that night. All of a sudden, he held my foot, took off my shoe, and ran away with it. Never saw him or the shoe again.
What the fuck?
That was so short it could be a haiku.
Yeah, that... That man needs to go to jail. Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
That's super... Oh my gosh. That's a different form of traumatizing for sure.
I can't with that. I
That
can't
is-
with that.
What? It just ran and actually disappeared forever.
Apparently.
And he's probably done that a few times.
That would be super funny if that was true.
Yeah.
He just wanted to walk a mile in your shoe, you know? Get
Yeah.
to know you better. That's what someone said.
He's still walking that mile right now. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Someone else said, I met a girl in NYC at a local pub. She turned out to be pretty rude and obnoxious. The bartender knew her and tried to warn me. When she saw I wasn't interested, she walked out, but not before taking my jacket with her. It was the middle of winter. Dang. I wonder if your shoe and my jacket are together somewhere.
Yeah, for real. That would be kind of funny, actually. But, oh my. I mean, the jacket one just being a butt. The shoe one is, like, yeah, definitely some next level.
Yeah.
It's like movie creepy type stuff. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That one's shocking.
That
one's really...
That
that
one
was
was up
quick.
there. That one's up there with the
Yeah.
with the crystals.
With the crystals, yeah. Oh my god.
Now if
With
I
the
ever
blue
say I'm a
sugar.
crystal girl, it has a whole different meaning.
Yeah, I'm gonna say blue sugar. That's
Blue sugar with the sugar. It was okay.
blue sugar something. I don't know.
Next one. It was a long list of things about... Hold on. Oh, okay. This event was a long list of things about what not to do, basically. I can live with going to a fast food restaurant. The plan was to grab something and take it to a park anyway, since the one around us had a nice picnic area. But first up was the shitty attitude towards the poor girl who took our order. Trying to order for me, despite knowing nothing about me at the time, also didn't help. That's a huge red flag, by the way. Then he found out my hobbies included nerdy stuff like video games and comic books and decided the usual backhanded compliments about how I'm not like other girls and how rare it is to find a girl who likes the same stuff he does was a good way to make conversation. The jackass even tried testing me on random shit. Ew. As an added bonus, he even pulled out pictures of random anime women to show me how I should dress if I wanted to be with him in the long term. Yes, the bar was so low that even hell was above it, and he still fucked it up that badly. Needless to say, there was no second date. What the?
Yeah, no. What? Yeah, yeah, that got worse. In the same direction, surprisingly. Like, I was thinking that that's as far as that goes in that direction, and then it still kept going further.
Yeah, like she said, the bar was so low that even hell was above it, and he still fucked up that badly.
Yeah. I wonder if he stopped before the this is how you should dress, if she would still be like, you know what, maybe we'll continue. A part of me feels like she would have just been fine with it if he stopped there, and that's where he went under. Because she was like, you know, at least you didn't do that. Okay, you did that now.
Right? Did I tell this story last time? Can I tell a story? You'll have to stop me if I told this last time and I just forgot.
Mm-hmm.
So this was during a time we had dated, but we were broken up for like 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
I moved into a new house with two of my friends,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy that came to install our internet, he had to like put things in the wall because our house was not set up to do like Wi-Fi, which was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, he had just started the job like a month ago.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
told me. I was the one there dealing with it that day, and he literally, he was there for like 6 hours, doing like an hour and a half job. He was about my age. We were like 24 at the time, and he was like enthralled with me in a way that is like, that's not normally vibes I give off to people. Usually I look like a biatch and people want to stay away from me. I think there's only been like 2 times that I got like hit on in my life by like stranger, unless they were, well, anyway, that they were like actually like saying stuff to me that was very like obvious.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand flirting. But this guy was so excited. He wanted to talk to me. He was going really slow because he was just so enthralled. I was trapped there alone by myself. We had no internet. I had nothing to do. But one of my friends was at work. No, she was upstairs, like, sleeping or something.
Yeah.
Because she was working night shifts. The other one hadn't moved in yet because this was the first week. Our house was a mess. I just wanted internet. I was so irritated. It was a Friday. I was so annoyed.
Yeah, like, anyway, you're mad right now.
I'm like so annoyed because guys are stupid. Anyway, so this guy, he starts trying to, like, flirt with me. He's like, oh my gosh, you play video games? Like, I don't even know how this came up. He's like, you play video games? He's like, I can't believe, like, that's so cool. Like, I don't remember all the details, but he was so excited that I play video games. He didn't even ask me the genre. Oh, I touched on this last time, but not the specific scenario. He didn't even ask me the genre. He probably thought it was like the stuff he likes because they can't think outside their bubble.
Yeah.
The guys that are like that, they only think of video games as the video games they like to play.
Yeah.
Or the anime they like to watch. There are so many genres out there. It drives me up the freaking wall. Anyway, so he's sitting there telling me all this crazy crap. Making me so irritated. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. So I'm getting annoyed. He sits there. He's like flirting with me, blah, blah, blah. But he also tells me he has a wife and a baby who is literally like 1 year old. Shows me pictures of them, tells me how cute they are, and he's still flirting with me. And he doesn't ask me out, but he very clearly likes me. He's like literally like enthralled. Like, I've never had that experience separately from that where somebody was so enthralled by me. And you're freaking working. Just get the fuck out of my hair. Anyway, I was not interested. I was single, but I was not interested. He was a skinny, scrawny guy. I'm not into that. Sorry to all the skinny scrawnies out there. No offense. It's just not my cup of tea. I'm not into that. So anyway, I was not gonna, even if I liked him, the fact that he was like bragging about his wife and child is crazy.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so I'm like finally 6 hours in, I'm like pushing him out the door. He's like, you want to go see Annabelle with me? But I'm like, yeah, let's go see Annabelle. Sure, whatever. And I was like, here, like, write down your... No, he asked, like, oh, he wanted to give some sort of way that we can contact each other, I guess. So I was like, fine. I was like, here's a notebook. Write down your number. He's like, okay. I probably still have that notebook somewhere. And he was like, and I'm like, okay. Yeah, here you go. Okay, yeah, let's go see Annabelle. While he was there, he had to, like, drill into the mechanism outside of the house, like, to do stuff. I had to lend him my drill bits. Technically my dad's drill bits. Sorry, Dad. And he literally dropped them in the freaking yard and lost them. He was a mess. When I tell you this should not have taken 6 hours, he was a mess. And it's because he was thinking with his little tiny pee-pee. Yeah. I don't remember his name anymore. Yeah. But yeah, no.
There are details to that I had never heard before with this.
Well, I'm not going to tell you this kind of thing.
I mean, you told me the story.
But a lot of my girlfriends know. Like, Brittany knows. Yeah. Alex was there. Alex came down. Also, F you, Alex. The reason I say that, and I've talked to her about this recently, like last month. Because she came down. She was like, nah. Because, again, this doesn't usually happen with me. She's like, nah, because I was texting her. I was like, girl, like, you know. She's like, no way, like, whatever. She comes down. She, like, sees how he's just even, like, looking at me. And then she like, I think he went outside, and then she's like, wow, you were right. I was like, yes. She's like, I thought you were like lying. I was like, what do you mean?
Like, literally never lied about this.
Anyway, that's not even a first date story. I don't go on dates with people who have wives.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just like
Well,
a rule.
except
I don't know if everyone
your
agrees
husband,
with
I
that
guess.
kind of rule.
So you go out with one person who has a wife.
Oh, bro.
Ha. Ha. Anyway, I was not flattered. And I mean, at least he was my age. Okay. Next story. I went to pick her up. She insisted on driving her car instead. Within 20 minutes, she ran a stop sign and got us T-boned. She tried to beg the other, not completely at fault driver to not call the police, which of course he made him call them even faster. She then confesses to me that she doesn't have an active driver's license and was borrowing her friend's car. So why the F did she insist on driving when I was already planning on driving? Once the cops arrived and I was assured that I was in the clear, I got the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
That's wild. What? I guess she's excited to drive for some reason. Or
Yeah.
she's like scared of him driving. That would be my other guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
But still, then you have to be good at driving if you're gonna force yourself to drive.
No, seriously. Like, she's probably just doing it for security reasons, as women do.
But though, if it's a security reason, that means they should meet up. If he also has the ability to drive, then that means you just go meet up with him.
Oh,
somewhere.
that's true. She drove him somewhere.
Yeah. So I think there was some
Ew.
form of she wanted to drive. I don't know why.
I don't know.
Either
why.
that or she just
When
was not
she-
thinking about the security
She
reason.
doesn't have a driver's license. That's not good.
Yeah.
All right. Some people are too comfortable with that kind of thing, breaking the law in that kind of way, and it always comes back to bite you.
I knew some guy who was like in his 20s, and he let me know he had been driving since 16, but the whole time he never had a driver's license. He was like, "No, it's not worth it to go get it," and I've never had an issue. And it's just like, dang, okay.
Meanwhile, I got pulled over once a year since I was 16. The only thing that broke that was COVID. And after COVID, I haven't been pulled over once a year. But from 2011 to 2020, I got pulled over once a year. And I got like 4 tickets.
Okay, yeah, you have some issues. I don't know. What's funny is you've never gotten to an accident.
No, I've never had an accident.
Yeah, you just would get pulled
I'm a
over
good driver, but I get pulled over for dumb
kidding.
stuff. Like not having my tags. No, I got pulled over for speeding once or twice. I got pulled over for dumb little things now and here. And then I got pulled over for speeding.
Yeah.
My dad's old car when I was a teenager, it was one of those really old Corollas from the 90s. The gas pedal on those were a little messed up, and they would accelerate. You don't have to put like almost anything on the gas and no pressure, and it will accelerate so fast.
It's a Toyota thing.
Yeah, that was a Toyota thing from the 90s. So I was going 70 on one of little old county roads. And nobody can arrest me because this is old and I paid my ticket, okay? On those little tiny old county roads, I was going about 70, and it's a 35-mile limit. This was when I was like 16, 17.
And it's also like a speed trap.
And it was
type of place,
nighttime,
yeah. too.
It was like 7 p.m. at night. I was on the way to church.
Oh, wait, no, that was not a speed trap. You were just speeding. Yeah, anyway.
No,
continue.
it was a speed trap. Anyway.
70?
Anyway, I was going like 70. So, anyway, at one point, on this way, I look behind me and I see some like lights off in the distance, and I'm like, that's really, really far behind me. Like, I almost couldn't see it. I was like, what is that? I was like, there's no one else here. Is that for me? I'm like, slow down. It was for me.
Yeah.
I probably could have run
Should sped
away.
up. Yeah, should sped up.
I was in a very like demure, very mindful car.
Okay.
I was, yeah. I could have gone away maybe. I probably should have, because it was like a 360 ticket. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you should build that habit early though, but whatever. Still, that's kind of funny.
Alex likes to make fun of me for that one too. Anyway, I think that's everything that I have for today. We got a little off topic toward the end, but when you have a funny story, sometimes you just have to share it. So, thanks for watching. Do you have anything to add for us today, Roy?
I think today was a pretty good first date. I'm willing to go on another one with you.
You want to go on another first date with me?
Yeah, another first date. So I have to forget who you are, and then we'll go on another first
So
date.
you like the goth girl? The chubby goth girl?
Yes. Actually.
I think I've passed chubby. Now I'm into just fat. You like a big woman? BBW? Let me make sure that doesn't
I don't know if I want to go another date anymore.
We're getting into the kinky stuff.
Yeah, especially saying it like that. I don't know.
You want to do some crystals with me?
Oh, wow.
Oh, by the way, I did some crystals this morning. I probably shouldn't have.
Drove in here.
Yeah. By the way, you like video games? Okay, I'll go on another date with you.
Wow.
That's so crazy. That's crazy. I love video games.
I wonder if that's ever happened in reverse. Like, it shouldn't happen in reverse.
I highly doubt it.
But it would be funny if it did. It'd have to be more like the girl just really expected the guy to be generic.
Excuse me.
If anything, I'm more surprised when one of my friends doesn't play video games, like, at all. When I find that out.
That's how I feel about people who don't ever watch anime. I'm like, whoa. Like, I understand if you're like, yeah, I've seen, like, Pokemon, Sailor Moon, that kind of thing. And it's just not for me. And I'm like, you know what? Okay.
Yeah.
But if they're like, nah.
Yeah.
Like, one of my friends, she's like, yeah, my husband watches Dragon Ball, and it looks like I would hate it. And I was like, well, yeah, because that's Dragon Ball. That's like saying somebody watches Winnie the Pooh, and then because of that, you don't like shows. You know what I mean? Or someone watched Twilight, and that's your only TV show you've ever heard of. And now you're like, I don't like TV shows. Like, there's so many things out there, but
also,
I can
Twilight
understand.
TV show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a Twilight TV? I hope there's not a Twilight.
No, but that's just what I mean, like an example.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
Also, there's going to be a bunch of Mexicans really pissed off at that one.
At what one?
Her saying she watched Dragon Ball and she didn't like it. Pretty sure it's like the Mexican community specifically.
Okay.
Super.
We need the
Dragon Ball.
Mexicans to.
All right,
it sounds so weird
Trump,
when we say it like that.
Well, gonna talk about the wall next.
No, I'm just interested. Like, is that a thing? Are we correct? Is that like a thing? Obviously, we're not trying to stereotype in the way of like, oh yeah, if you're Mexican, you like this. Like, no. We don't mean it like that. But like, sometimes there's trends, and I know in Mexico, anime is really big, and so that would mean like it's like in the U.S. like it would be very common for somebody to like Dragon Ball and Shonen Jump kind of anime. So we're just wondering if we have it correct. So anyone from Mexico or spend a lot of time in Mexico, the girls I know from Mexico, they don't really watch any of that. It's mostly boys that I
Yeah.
So I want to hear from anyone and just, let us know. Stand off. If you're from Mexico, know a lot of Mexicans or are Mexican. I don't know. Is that a thing? Are we correct? I don't know.
Say we in these things. I'm correct, and you don't know.
Yeah, you know everything there is to know about
everything.
Mexicans.
Yeah. Definitely.
You're ridiculous. You're ridiculous. No, but like, is that a trend? Because I think I've heard of that being a trend.
I remember like it specifically came up because when the original creator of Dragon Ball died, then it was like more Mexican people, and I don't know if it's Hispanic in general. I think it was specifically Mexican people. A lot of them were.
No, I think it's specifically Mexico.
Yeah. I think a lot of Mexican people were more like upset by it, and a lot more were talking about his death.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or that's just your feed giving you what it thinks you want.
It thinks I'm Mexican.
Yeah, so that's why anyway. We got in a really weird conversation toward the end there, babe.
Yeah, nothing about first dates.
Join us next week. We're going to touch on, a few like Am I the Assholes and a few other things like that. I don't know. We'll see. So
we're going to read Reddit next week. So
yeah. We've never done this before on the channel, but we're going to touch on some Reddit stories next week. So join us then. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day. Bye. This will my shelf fight for that. This one, my good girls, my masterpiece. Too high, hot damn. Homies in the fire temple, hot, hot damn. Hot damn.